Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lars Mulder. I work at EIT Digital, that is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And I'm here on behalf of my project partners to tell you something about realizing a healthy eating behavior. Let's start with the cold hard facts. For the past 40 years, the prevalence of obesity and being overweight has increased. This is a graph in the Netherlands displaying the prevalence of obesity in people from 4 years and older. You can see in the past 4 decades it's been steadily increasing, not only adults but also children. And I bet you also have come across of this news fact that people who have COVID-19 and are suffering from COVID-19 in these people is more deadly than normal people that are not obese. And that's even true when they are young. This just underlines the importance of this topic in today's world. As you all probably know that being overweight or obesity has an increased risk for developing health problems such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, or kidney disease, for instance. And being overweight or being obese is also a risk factor for mental problems like depression or a negative self-image. And all of this leads to an increased burden on the healthcare system in terms of costs and capacity. Moreover, being overweight or obese also leads to social and emotional effects like discrimination or stigmatization, also lower wages, basically an overall lower quality of life. And this is just the global problem. There's many underlying problems which I want to share here with you today. I mean, there's diets, there's about 100,000 different apps out there. There's municipality programs, there's employer programs, etc. And I bet most of you have tried some form of diet or used an app to track your exercise. And actually, why aren't all of these working? Why is it not having an impact on the prevalence of obesity? And aren't we all worried that our bad or unhealthy behavior rubs off on our children and our teenagers? And that's actually why I am here today also to tell you this story, why we are in this project. This is our focus, children and teenagers, because they are the healthy people of the future. And when I say children, I automatically mean their parents, because there's 2 types of children in this project. Children that have a smartphone, and you can reach them through a smartphone, usually adolescents, and there's children without a smartphone that you want to reach through their parents. So as I said 2 slides ago, there is an increasing prevalence of obesity in the past 40 years. And that also leads to an increased percentage of people ending up in the hospital, not just adults, but also children. And I've talked to many clinicians, and what they all say is that they have no tools to give to their patients as soon as their treatment is done. For instance, they come to the hospital with diabetes, and the doctor treats them for diabetes and sends them home again with a message, might be good for you if you lose some weight. But there's no tools available, and doctors actually lose track of these children. And eventually, they don't change their eating behavior, and they come back to the hospital. They are readmitted. And I know this is not just only about what we eat. It's also about exercise and screen time and sleep quality. But today, we're focusing on eating behavior. And actually, weight is a very sensitive issue. It's very difficult to talk to parents about the weight of their children. It's very difficult also to talk to adolescents about weight issues. And that's also why we chose not to talk anymore about weight, but refer to healthy behavior instead. So all these diets, all these apps, all these programs, they aren't working. Why is that? And that is because it's a multifactorial problem which needs a very complete solution to have any impact in this field. And I gladly share my insights that I gained during the past year with you. So, in terms of problem, I divided it into 3 topics. 1, product, 2, business model, and 3, awareness. On the product side, the major problem is that there is no focus on behavioral change. Emotions are important, social situation is important, they are not taken into consideration. And most products do not have solid academic proof of its effectiveness. And to improve your eating behavior, you first have to know what your current eating behavior is. So that means tracking of what you eat every day. And for most of these products, that means that it's boring, it's tedious, basically it's no fun. And a lot of these products, a lot of these apps are really badly made and show glitches. And above that, most of these apps are really unpersonal and not personalized. So it's a one-size-fits-all. And one of the most important factors is that they are unrewarding. Using an app now with too far in the future outlook on losing weight, for instance, is not really an incentive of sticking rigorously to an app in the here and now. Secondly, business model. A lot of companies, a lot of products have a limited number of users, which means they have a limited reach and they have a limited capacity and basically no impact. There's just a lot of fragmented approaches all over the place. And what is also true is that any of these apps or any of these programs, a diet for instance, cost money to do, which is a problem for a lot of people. Thirdly, awareness and food literacy. I think a lot of people believe that they eat healthy, but they're actually unaware that they're not eating so healthy. And also, I think most people would want to eat healthy, but simply don't know how to or where to begin. It is a complex thing. And a lot of people believe that healthy food is more expensive than unhealthy food. But is this really true? There's no evidence of that. But it indeed requires some investment, be it money or be it time. And if you look at the parts of society where obesity is most prevalent, you're looking at the more vulnerable parts of society, where there's a lower level of education, where lower wages, where people earn less money, basically. So for those people, it's not a priority. Eating healthy is not a priority for these people, and therefore they are really hard to reach. As I said, all of these products do not focus on changing behavior. Compare it, for instance, to trying to quit smoking or following a diet. In the beginning, you're very motivated and you stick rigorously to a diet, or you are able to not smoke for 2 months, but at some point maybe the motivation decreases and you stop your diet because you reached your goal. But if your behavior isn't changed, you will relapse again, and whatever you achieved will be undone quite soon. And it's not just this. Also, the emotions are very important. For instance, if you feel sad, or when people feel bored, they turn to food for comfort. Or haven't we all said, oh, I worked really hard today, I don't feel like cooking anymore, let's order some takeout. And similarly, it's also true that a lot of people probably have said, me included, I did a very good workout today. I really earned that piece of chocolate tonight. But not just emotions, also social environment is important. If you're out with friends, for instance, or if you're an adolescent in school and you see all your friends drinking energy drinks, then yeah, why not should you also not drink energy drinks? And the solution to that is cognitive behavioral therapy. That is a short-term, goal-oriented psychotherapy treatment that takes a hands-on approach to problem solving. Its goal is to change patterns of thinking, patterns of behavior that are behind people's difficulties and making choices in certain situations. And cognitive behavioral therapy has been proven to be very effective, for instance, in trying to stop smoking. So now here we are developing a product to try to apply cognitive behavioral therapy to improving people's eating behavior. It is our vision that people of all ages can learn and maintain a healthy behavior and basically live a healthy life. And in that sense, our mission is to develop a technology that is game-changing, that is societally integrated based on the proven CBT method. And we want to embed it in an appealing, easy-to-use platform, widely available to everybody. And we strongly believe that in this way, a long-lasting, future-proof solution will be delivered. And this is the solution that we're working on. We are making use of the advent of advanced machine learning technology and the connected world through smartphones and through the internet. We're developing a smart algorithm and a front end in the form of an app which is capable of understanding and predicting each individual's eating behavior and using that information to generate a personalized intervention at vulnerable moments. That is what cognitive behavioral therapy is. And here we're trying to transform that into a hybrid digital product. And we recently scientifically shown that it is effective in adults, so now we're also extending it to be usable for children. To that end, we are developing a gamified app, a gamified program, in which there is really a personal approach. There's real specialized people in the back end, dietitians and coaches that you can reach, that you can talk to, that will help you out in this program. And we're also setting up really that community feeling. For instance, one family can be in the same program with another family and communicate about what worked for them or what didn't work for them. Our business model is that we want to distribute it via large societal players. On the one hand, hospitals, and on the other hand, for instance, supermarkets. I will explain in a minute. The important thing is here that we will ascertain a large reach and therefore a large number of users and therewith a big impact. And most importantly, it will be free for all users. You don't have to pay anything. And as I said in the beginning, rewarding is very important. So by using this app or being very serious and maybe also successful in this program, you can save up points with which you could save for discount on healthy products, for instance, or save for going to a match of your favorite soccer team with your class, or go to workshops that have to do with eating or cooking, for instance. Thirdly, in the area of awareness and food literacy, we're basically stimulating that community feeling by providing fun facts, positivity messages, nicer reads, and gamified educational elements addressed to parents and their children. The program also will offer a lot of convenience. For instance, when you're in the store or in the supermarket, that you want to buy a certain product and you get tips on with what to combine it or how to prepare it. And through that community setup, you can also learn from others, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. So behind me, you can see a little screenshot of what we're developing now. You can see the different personalized avatars, for instance. You can also see all the food items that you can use to track what you eat. And also you can see a little avatar depicted in a sort of sleeping outfit that also will be used to track how you slept, for instance. So all the way on the left, you can see it's not only about tracking food or tracking what you eat. It's also important, what were you doing? Were you in school with friends, or were you active in a sports pitch alone or with your friends? And it's also important to track your emotions. Were you happy? Were you anxious? Were you sad? Those kind of things. Of course, there will be the possibility to track your progress. How successful are you? And ideally in the future, just taking an image of what you're eating would already be enough to track your food, your eating behavior. So the images that you just saw are basically part of our minimum viable product. That means the beta version of the product. It's an algorithm in the form of an application. And at the moment, we're running a large field test in Belgium, the Netherlands, and France among 100 children, just to get their input on how they feel the app is working, or what can be improved, or what doesn't work, for instance. But 2021 will be the year that we will run a large randomized controlled trial in a clinical setting in Belgium, the Netherlands, and France, trying to prove that this program is effective also for battling overweight and obesity in a clinical setting for children. 2021 is also the year that we will further develop this product add the gamification and add the intervention elements, and setting up the expert and the buddy system therein. Also, still this year, we will start up a new venture that will commercialize this product and make it available to everyone. So the short-term impact goes through the treatment arm of this business model. We want to develop a proven functional app based on the cognitive behavioral therapy approach, and we will offer it to hospitals that treat children with obesity and give the doctors really a tool to help their patients as soon as they leave the hospital. In the longer term, we will also add the prevention branch to this model, meaning that maybe through supermarkets, this technology will become available to all consumers, whether they are overweight or not. So also the prevention here is very important. We want to go internationally, which is kind of a challenge because eating, food, and those kind of things are very cultural sensitive. In other cultures, people deal differently with food and with eating it. We're also going to explore other markets, the gaming industry or sports brands, or for instance, family holiday parks. We're going to extend the expert support team in different countries, of course, and we're also going to include the other items that are very important for your weight. Exercise, sleep, screen time in children is very important. And ideally, we also want to couple it to wearables, which is particularly convenient, of course, when you want to track your exercise. The venture team at the moment is comprised of me, together with my colleague Sandra Gustek, who is a psychologist, a coach, and a dietitian. So she knows exactly what goes around in the heads of children. And I'm proud to mention also that we're working with the University of Maastricht, Zilveren Kruis Achmea, Garage 2020, which is an innovative youth care company, Digital, the French app builder, and our clinical partners in Ghent, Belgium, and Grenoble-Alpes in France. I'm keen to acknowledge that this project is funded by EIT Digital and EIT Health as part of the European Union. That's it. Thanks a lot. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, or at least try to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're still here. So you like the video. If you want, subscribe and click the bell.